shine. I stayed on my grind. Every boy's like a hook from Iron Mike in his prime. My eye leader, light speed is just blowing your mind, and you ain't got enough heart to try to challenge a line. I'm holding it down, toe to toe, controlling the crown. To be the best, you gotta beat the best. I'm eating you, clown.
Sell me this pen.
It's a amazing pen. For professionals.
Sell me this pen.
Well, it's a nice pen. You can use the pen to write down thoughts from your life so you can remember.
Sell me this pen.
Well, this pen works, and I personally love this pen, and I think this pen.
Hey, what is up, headhunters and executive recruiters? This is DSP, David Stephen Patterson, and today I want you to sell me this pen. It's not kind of a crappy pen, actually, to be candid with you. Kind of the first pen I happened to grab, not even the pen I typically use. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little opening vignette, if that's the right word to use. And before we get into today's lesson, I want to sincerely apologize to all of my subscribers here on the YouTubes, because I told you I'd be releasing a new 12 Days of Salesman's video every day, and then next thing you know, I released 4, and then nothing. I was sick for a few days with a really nasty stomach bug. Then my family got sick, had to take care of them, and everything just piled up. So unfortunately, this is the first chance I've had to really catch up, so I'm gonna be jamming these things out, because at the end of the day, you don't care if it's Christmas, who cares, right? It's about the lessons and the value. So let's get into it, shall we? So that said, sell me this pen. A classic scenario. Sales manager tells the sales candidate, sell me this pen. And then what do most people do? They talk about features. The decent ones will talk about benefits. But unfortunately, that's not the right answer. So here's how you sell the pen, and here's how this relates to how we're gonna go about looking for buyers. You see, you don't wanna waste time selling to non-buyers. People that aren't qualified or not in pain. Now, you've done some work so far in figuring out what sorts of pain your prospects are feeling, both chronic pain and acute pain. But in addition to that, you also have to realize that the vast majority of your market probably has felt hiring pains at a certain point in time. I don't know any leader who has not felt that. But at any given time, is it at the forefront of their mind? Is it really strong enough for them to take action? And usually it isn't. Think about it like this. The vast majority of the population, particularly here in the US, is overweight, right? Now, with that said, though, most people feel the pain of being overweight. But does that mean they go to the gym? No. But at any given time, a certain percentage of the population happens to look in the mirror for the first time, like really look and see, oh, you know, the love handles, or maybe they've gone up another notch on their belt, and they promised themselves 3 months ago that that would never happen again, and now they're really feeling that pain, right? Or, you know, maybe divorce is imminent, they've got to hit the dating scene, and now they really think about, oh geez, I am a fat piece of you know what, and I need to work on getting in shape. So there are events that precipitate feeling that pain more than most other situations, most other times in their lives, and it causes them to take action, right? So we know this. So the entire market probably feels some sort of pain at any given time, but for the most part, it's not really strong enough for them to take action. So for us, it's imperative that we go out and find the ones or those prospects where they are going to be buyers, where they are feeling that pain severely enough to take action on a higher level offer that you've been working on. In addition, obviously they have to have a need. Let's be real about that. If they're not hiring, well then obviously we can talk to them about using us in the future, but for right now, they're not going to be using you. So the way I figure it, at any given point, 1 or 2 or 3% of the market is going to be in need and or in pain. Those are the two big qualifiers that I look at. Now, granted, there's also, are they, do they have the budget? Are they the hiring manager? That's basic, right? So what I want to focus on here is mainly, are they feeling that pain? That's the main thing. Do they have a need and or do they feel a pain? And at any given time, 1, 2, maybe 3% of the market is ready to buy. So again, I ask you, sell me this pen. Now, most recruiters, how do they sell their pen, right? They talk about their features. I am a finance recruiter. I have 10 years experience. We have a proprietary process. We list all the things, features. A good recruiter then actually talks about benefits. This is how it benefits you. This is what we've done with other clients, how it benefited them. That's actually a fairly decent way to sell. I would rather you sell and try to find it, are they in pain when it comes to their pen? You see, a great salesperson will say, when you ask them to sell you your pen, they will say, great. How long have you been in the market for a pen? What kind of pens do you like? Do you currently own a pen right now? And how is that treating you? How's that pen working for you? What do you use the pen for? Now we get into some pain questions. What issues have you had with the pen that you have? And oftentimes, potential buyers of a pen are not going to be forthcoming with pain. So you know what we do, because we've worked so very hard on figuring out the pains of pen ownership. Now we say, well, Bob, I've noticed that a lot of the folks I work with, before I started working with them, they tend to get these really bad cramps here because they sign checks all day long because obviously they're the boss and bosses sign checks in the front, right? But they got this pain and it's consistent, right? Or oftentimes they have these pens that smudge, and it's really a bad look when they're signing expensive contracts or signing in brand new clients for their firm. Looks really bad. And on top of that, sometimes they're just embarrassed by having a kind of a cheap, flimsy plastic pen. Does that resonate with you at all? So what I'm using my knowledge of pen ownership and some of the usual problems that people have with pens. These are acute pains. Remember, these are acute pains from bad solutions, bad pens, because usually they're not going to be forthcoming. And what I'm looking to do is trying to hook them and say, oh, yeah, I do tend to have this pain right here. They're not going to be forthcoming with it, usually not. So we're peppering this in a bit. See what I'm doing? Now, if I go in as a pen salesman and go from prospect to prospect, right? And I reach out and I say, I introduce myself and I find out that they use a pen, and they say, well, what do you do? Well, typically, Bob, I work with senior executives at high-level organizations. They got some of the best products in the world. They're the boss. They sign checks on the front all day long. But typically, they're frustrated because the pens they have really cause this really ache right here, right? Because they're usually poor design, right? Or oftentimes, the ink smudges. Or, what typically happens sometimes is that when they're in a high-level meeting and they bring out a kind of a cheap plastic pen, it's just not a very good look. And the impact sometimes can be a bit of a loss of credibility. That's what we found. Does that ever resonate with you, with some of the pens that you use, right? I'm not talking about the features. I'm talking about the benefits of my pen, because my clients don't give a shit. Or, I'm sorry, my prospects don't give a shit, right? Excuse my French. But they give a shit about their pain. Now, when I find out what those pains are and what kind of pens they do like, or maybe they're even in the market for a pen, which is great, low-hanging fruit. But even if they're not, I find out some of those pains, and then I can tailor my presentation to say, well, actually, I've got the perfect pen for you right here. In fact, with the ergonomic design, it really deals with that cramping issue that you've had for so long, right? And obviously you get my point. That is how you sell a pen. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Well, here's the thing. You've worked really hard on, again, figuring out your pains, figuring out your offer, right? And I bet you're probably excited to take this out to market. And you're like, how do I take it out to market? Well, what happens is, and this is something I see a lot with some students. Like, say, one of the things we're working really heavily is offer creation. And when you get this offer that you create, that's your baby. You love this baby. This is an offer, right? You're like, oh, that's amazing. You're like, I want to take it out. I want to show everybody, like, feature, right? Or if you're a little better, benefit. You're trying to push this down everybody's throat. Okay. In fact, I just had a conversation with one of my clients in Australia, who is now embarking on this path, and she has an amazing offer. And I told her, I said, look, one thing you have to make sure you do is don't take this and try to sell everybody that same thing, because not everybody wants it, or maybe not everybody needs it. Or maybe they need it, they don't realize it. But when you start pitching your thing, they know you're selling them. And they're always a little bit like, nobody wants to be sold, right? People love to buy, but they don't want to be sold. So that's the key, right? You want to be qualifying, always qualifying. And yes, qualifying the budget, qualify that they're a real hiring manager, etc. But what's most important after all that is qualifying, are they in pain? Because if they're completely happy with their recruiter, love them to death, what do you have to sell on? Not much, maybe price. But typically most buyers aren't purely price shoppers. And if they have a good relationship, it's a risk to move to another supplier, even at a slightly lower price, and they'll typically stay with their current. For most recruiters, what they do is they consistently reach out to their prospects, and they're a consistent number 2 or number 3. And then when one happens to screw up or they can't fulfill a need, then they go to their number 2. And that's how most recruiters get their business. Believe me, that's how I built my business for years. That's what I did, because my sales technique and my sales understanding of the psychology was really very, very basic, right? When I learned this, when I learned this, and really in other areas of sales, I never learned this from any recruiting trainers. I learned this in other areas, just like offer creation, productizing my service was not taught by any other trainer. I took that from outside the industry, applied it, and it worked beautifully. Same thing here with this type of sale, right? In fact, so now that we've covered that, let's move on to the next topic here, which is going to be natural selection. Now keep in mind, we are going to get to the good stuff. Don't worry, we're going to get the scripts and all that kind of jazz, but I'm trying to teach you some frameworks that we're in, because again, one of the biggest things I see with clients all the time, consistently, is when they create this offer and they want to just shove it down everybody's throat because they think it's amazing, because it's their baby, and that's understandable, right? I think my kids are awesome, and in fact, they are awesome. They are awesome. But look at your average parent. Your average parent thinks their kid is amazing, but to everybody else, they're probably some buck-toothed, ugly kid, right? Now, obviously, my kids are beautiful, but whatever. So with that being said, the reason why I tell you this now, and of course, don't worry, we're going to get the scripts here very, very soon. We're like a lesson or 2 away from that. Don't worry. But I want to provide these frameworks because when you create this offer, when you give birth to this baby, and creating an offer is not easy. At least creating a really bona fide, unique offer that no one else has. That ain't easy. Believe me, I've worked through many clients who had to do this. But one of the big things I see is when they get this, they want to just sell to everybody because they're so excited. They got this new thing and like, man, this is amazing. And then they get frustrated because a lot of people don't see the value in it, right? They don't. If I try to sell a Mont Blanc pen to everybody, they're not going to see value until I uncover the pains. And that's the nuance. And that's really, really key. So this lesson is almost a way to kind of hold you back a little bit, teach you some nuance, and teach you kind of a framework on how you're going to go out there and sell it. And it'll make you so much more effective, deadly effective, okay? So with that said, let's talk about the second framework I want to talk about here in this lesson. Then we'll wrap this up. And that is going to be natural selection. Now, we all know what natural selection is. And so when you look at a lion, and they hunt zebra. Zebras are good eatings out on the plains of the Serengeti, right? Well, is a lion, or a pride of lions for that matter, are they going to chase after the first zebra that they see in the herd? Maybe they could, and maybe they'll catch that zebra. All right, they're faster than zebras, but zebras can run a lot longer, a lot farther, and much more endurance. And so it can be very difficult to catch that zebra, especially a young, healthy buck, or, again, a strong zebra. So what do? Well, lions developed a strategy over millennia, or not millennia, millions of years, to spook the herd, to intimidate the herd. And what happens is the herd kind of fragments a little bit. And what happens is the weak zebra make themselves known. And then the lion says, "Ha ha, gotcha. That's our mark. That's our one," right? That's what they do. And then they go after that zebra. They've developed a strategy that very consistently brings them food. Otherwise, they'd starve to death, right? And that's what we're looking to do here. So think about it like this, right? You've got 1,000 prospects, let's say, and you go out to market. And if you go out and, again, features, benefits, you sell to everybody. Well, you're like that lion trying to basically hunt down every single zebra, and you will catch them. But man, it is a big expenditure of calories, and it's not efficient. So what we're going to be doing, and what we're teaching you here, is how to spook the herd. Because at any given time, there's going to be 1-2% that I wouldn't call them weak, but are already, they're primed to go, okay? And your job in qualifying is to take that 1,000 and shake it, and then see, boop, boop, boop. Oh, there we go, bam, bam. And these others, we're gonna stay in front of them. Yes, we're gonna, but we're not gonna spend a lot of energy. We're gonna stay in front of them, and we're gonna put them in like maybe top of mind, right? And then maybe every few months, we're gonna take the 1,000 again and shake them out, right? And so imagine if you had 1,000, shake them, right? Get your appointments. The rest kind of stay top of mind. Get your next 1,000, shake them, boom, in that month, right? And then once you don't fight or whatever, that's cool, top of mind, right? And continuing doing that, and every 4, 5, 6 months, take that original cohort and run them through again. That's it. That's true prospecting. True prospecting is not sales. I'm sure you know marketing, you have sales, you have, people know marketing and sales, the difference, right? Marketing is your long game, your content, and all those other things. Sales is when you're belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, right? Or, I don't know, phone to phone, whatever you want to call it, but we're selling. Sales isn't making $100 a day, that's prospect. Prospecting is going through that 100 and shaking them loose. Now, how do you shake them loose? That's the question. So, this video series is mainly about sales, and by that as well, prospecting. I guess I should really include that as well. But 12 days of prospect didn't sound as good. So, but when you look at other forms of marketing, like content and advertising and all that, that's actually where I cut my teeth as a trainer, because no one was really doing that in the recruitment world, at least not very much, at least not very well. And that's really one of the areas where I tend to shine. So with that said, though, I do want to say this. When you kind of venture out into this kind of stuff, when you want to put together a marketing plan, which is different from a sales plan, right? And then a sales plan, and then like your prospecting plan. Those are really the 3 core main areas. What I want you to be thinking about is, where do I want to spend my calories? There's also the concept I want to share with you called hunting versus farming. You see, a lot of recruiters, when they get into things like digital marketing, again, which are where I really cut my teeth, one of the big things I tend to see is that these recruiters, all of a sudden they stop prospecting and they start pumping out content. And they expect it to be a cornucopia of leads. Leads are just going to be pouring in. And trainers sometimes are at fault because they sell kind of the cornucopia of inbound leads, a flood of leads at your doorstep. And it's not realistic. It happens eventually, but it's like farming. You plant seeds, you water them, you care for them, and then eventually you harvest. And the first harvest is not that bountiful. Then you put it in again, water, care for them, and the second harvest gets a little more bountiful. Over time, that grows and grows and grows, okay? That's farming. Hunting is the prospecting, right? And you're shaking out the herd, finding out who's primed and ready to go. It's trying to find buyers to sell to. And of course, selling is closing, right? So those are really the main activities you want to be involved in. And when you look at kind of a ratio, look at hunting versus farming. If you are starting in this sort of realm, you want to do about 10-20% farming, because that's for the future. It is important over time. And the farming will make your hunting more effective. Believe me, if you've been farming for 3 years, pushing out content, and your prospects see that over time, you cold call them and they say, "Oh, hey David, I've seen your stuff everywhere." It happens. It happens to me all the time, right? It makes your hunting that much more effective. But in the meantime, when you start this, you want to farm 10-20% of the time, and you want to hunt 80-90% of the time. And what we're gonna be doing here in this program, and I'm going to take, or at least in this video series, is I'm taking you basically some stinky caveman with a sharp stick. I'm taking away the stick and I'm giving you a bow and arrow, okay? I'm giving you bear traps. I'm giving you the real deal. Now, if you join one of my programs, for example, Accelerator or Tactical, in essence, I take away the bear trap and I take away the bow and arrow, and I give you a Browning 50 cal. But with that said, this is going to get you started, right? And continue to hunt, and in addition, that hunting, not only will it bring you that fresh meat every single day while you're farming, building for your future, it will also give you the skill necessary to, one, close at will, right? Because if you do get an inbound lead and you can't close for jack shit, okay, then what did that farming do for you? Nada. Right? So it's important that you have that skill, and skill takes repetition and to be at bat a lot. I want you guys to be getting, 10, 15, 20, 25 sales meetings every single month. Heck, every single week if you can, right? It's possible. It takes a lot of work, but it's doable. But you need to get a high volume consistently. And we'll later on in this series, we'll talk about how to take all those reference points, experiences, all the sales calls, and how to analyze them to actually get better over time very quickly, okay? And we'll cover that later on in this series. So I hope this makes sense. So it's important. Remember, hunt primarily with this offer that you have, which I'm, again, replacing your sharpened stick with a compound bow and some bear traps, and you're good to go, right? And I'm going to teach you how to farm. You're farming, all that. So that's the key here, okay? Now, in one of our future lessons, I'm not sure which one, I'll be showing you how even with farming itself, you can actually use that as a form of prospecting. It's actually a really cool technique, and that'll probably be in a later video at some point. I'm not quite sure which one, because this one's running a bit long. So with that said, I hope this makes sense for everybody. And do you hear that? Sounds like a bunch of hunters. Huh.